Unmute.
Hello.
I need like a sticky note thing here to put on. So, okay, do this before. But I think nobody expects any different. What do you know today, Connor?
What do I know?
What
Not
do
a
you
whole
know?
lot.
Well, I'll tell you. You know more than I do. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm David Burrows, and, of course, my dear friend Connor Burke joining me. We have got, I'll say it, a whole ton of stuff to talk about here, and I think let's get a picture of the jerseys that the Sarnia Sting are wearing right now in warm-up. These are kind of cool, right?
Yeah, they're nice. I like them. I see you've got one on yourself there.
Yeah, I got my
off?
it's Lions Night, the Pride Night with the Lions, and I will give a shout-out to my friend Lee Cunningham. He'll appreciate the white lettering on the back of the jersey.
Very legible.
Well, that's a thing, right? I mean, you know, these guys know a lot of the numbers and everything. They know who's who, but to be able to see who's got that puck from way up there, especially when you're getting older like Lee Cunningham.
I've heard the complaints all around. It's not just him. It's I think everybody in the OHL, even in the NHL, it bugs people.
I think so.
Make it easy for the broadcast.
Well, you know, don't wish it were easier. Just wish you were better. I don't know.
2020 David, okay.
Right, yeah. I'm glad I don't do the play-by-play, that's for sure. Kudos out to our friend Lee Cunningham, Pat DeRoche. You listen to their show and play-by-play on CHOK.com. And, well, I tweeted you yesterday. Did you get that?
I did. I saw that.
Okay. You didn't respond.
I responded to your text. I didn't know what you wanted me to respond to.
Oh, okay. You texted me back?
Yeah, I texted you back.
Like, was it like from a week before message or?
Oh,
I seriously can't get a hold of the guy. I feel like, you know, like I want to even meet you for a non-alcoholic drink. I'm still there. I'm 10 days in. And it's like you don't want to talk to me.
Oh, yeah, right.
Here.
My first week back at a week back at work, so.
All right, let's.
Still rough around the edges.
Before we get, whatever. Before we get going into it, let's go and say hello to Tiki Talk. We had a $60,000. Oh, look at this. We got a heart out there. Karen says, nice jersey. Yeah, I only own 3 jerseys.
Me too.
I've only bought 2 of them. And I didn't pay more than $100 for them, just so you know, Karen. Just putting that out there.
I can count on my hand how many.
All right. Costa's liking the live. Who else we got out there? There's Carl from Oshawa. Hello. And thank you, Karen. Kabungo. We got a whole bunch of people. Oh, we just got a new follower. Like, the TikTok community's been amazing. Thoughts? Okay, let's go to Brody. Thoughts on how the Knights are going to do. We'll come to that. Oh, my.
We're back.
Tugging on.
We're back.
Yeah, 300? What's 300? Yeah, 300. Oh, I see. Hi, Jacob. Auntie Toe sent us a rose and some other stuff. Thank you so much, TikTok. Auntie Toe is one of our moderators. Let's see if we can get to 50,000. All right, well, first thing we want to talk about, I think, is, well, there's a new sheriff in town, right?
Yeah, there is.
David Matsos.
Welcome.
Assistant coach. And
much welcomed addition.
Yeah, like, you know, you read about this guy. I mean, he is an experienced coach in the OHL, and of course, a part of an OHL championship with Hamilton. He served as the head coach for the Sudbury Wolves, and one of the things that they talk about here that Dylan Sika put out when they announced was excellent communicator and able to connect with players. I think, you know, we've said before, like, you know, it's 90%, it's 10% skill and 90% strategy, really, when it comes down to this. And you can have all the great powers. And, you know, here's how you do this, and here's how you do that. But to be able to connect with players at a young age is, I think, really key to what's going on with the Sarnia Sting right now.
Yeah, most definitely. There's so many of them, and there's a big disparity between a head coach and an assistant coach. The head coach is big boss. You got to listen to him.
Right.
He might be a little rough around the edges. You might not feel totally comfortable coming to him with maybe just personal problems or just anything really. But that's what you got an assistant for, especially when it's a player's coach, somebody that has been obviously known to be comfortable around younger players and they feel comfortable around him. And I think he's familiar with a few of our players already. Casey Bridgewater, he coached, and I think he spent time with Liam Beamish as well. So it's good to have the experience with that as well.
Yeah, well, and it goes back to what Dylan Sika talked about at the post game last Friday, and he even mentioned it as well in the press release, was that it's a great fit for the current staff. And I think there's a message in there if you read between the lines. And, Dylan Sika talked last week about the adversity of this team. And defining that word adversity means the challenges that come along, being able to get along, surrounding yourself in the right group. And, he also importantly mentioned that it's nice to see that the players really starting to rally around each other and embracing the opportunity that they have and embracing each other as far as encouragement goes. But I think adversity is a really good word for this Sarnia Sting team.
Yeah, for sure. That was we had a rough road trip. We had a rough time on the road in general, but it's kind of been riding the roller coaster this whole season, and they've managed to come out this 2025. We're undefeated.
Right.
It's only 2 games, but it's a brand new year, and if you can get another one under your belt, why not just keep the ball rolling? And like, it's never to say it's an easy team, but Owen Sound's had some struggles of their own, and maybe an opportunity to take advantage of a team that's down and out a little bit with not very many points in the standings.
Yeah. Well, I think the confidence level, something else, Dylan Sika was asked was like, what was the tipping point of this team to all of a sudden they started making changes and rallying around each other. And one of the things he said was, I don't know if it was this, but when they released Michael Haley, maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe there's a piece of that happening that went, whoa, maybe I better stand a little taller and tighten my skates a little more. And I think, in my opinion, I think a message was sent out there. Either your heart and your head's in this or you're not here. I don't have any information that says that's what happened there, but I think that's what the Sarnia Sting philosophy is. One of its key points is be here or don't be. And, they obviously looked around hard at the OHL and other areas to go, what personality fits in here? So I guess we'll find out tonight on the bench and moving forward if that's the case. But I expect to see some more great things come out of this Sting team. I mean, the confidence level has gone up, especially since the win over London.
Yeah, what's better than beating London? Well, right. Not just that they're an arch nemesis, but they're the top of the standings right now. They're such a powerful team, and like I said before, it's something to hang your hat on. You don't want to. It's not all over, but if you can do that, you can do anything really.
I agree.
There's no other challenge.
If you're going to win against a team when you're down and out, why not beat the number one team?
Exactly, and it just shows, like you said, also adversity. They've struggled to get that last game of last year. Last year, we're not talking about it, but it was quite a difficult score to see on the scoreboard, and they didn't mind, and they came back less than 24 hours later and did it again.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, we want to give a shout out to Hughes Intelligence. Oh, I was taking you out there. Hughes Intelligence Canada. Thanks, Barry Bentley. I don't know if we're going to have people joining us up here tonight, but we broadcast live here from the Hughes Intelligence Canada Hockey Suite. Thanks to Hughes Intelligence for that and allowing us to be here. Boy, we got a lot of people out there. We got Oliver's following us. We got somebody else following. Jeez, it's going crazy out here. My friend Craig Hotot.
Craig Hotot.
Hotot played for the Sting a decade ago.
Yep, I remember him.
Okay, that was before my time, I think. A lot of things were before my time. Abby's out there, says, go attack, go.
Oh,
all right,
boy.
We'll let you stay, I guess. Carl Freeman says, hello, Connor.
Hello.
Lydia says, go Sting, go, right? All right, well, this is going to be a long conversation. Let's talk about the trades that have happened here.
Yes, both trade deadlines have come to pass.
Yeah, well, and interesting, for those who don't know, I know you did, was that I had somebody else ask me to go, how are there still trades coming out when the deadline's over? So what happens is if they sign the papers, make a deal by 11:59, once they're approved afterward, they can still be coming out. So that's why you see those trades after the deadline. So that's why we saw those. Let's start with the goalie. First of all, Andrew Galton, acquired from the Sudbury Wolves in exchange for Carson Chartier. What were your thoughts when you saw
It's
that one?
he hasn't played all year, and Galton doesn't play much for his OHL team either. So it's kind of just a minor league goalie spot, maybe just a change of place. These people, or these players, sorry, maybe just weren't comfortable in their environment, and then sometimes that's all it takes is a quick swap.
That's right.
We'll see if he comes around. It's nice to have Galton.
I would say fairly equally. I don't know how hard it is. Well, it's hard to compare these two because one's played a lot more games than the other. So when you look at the SV percentage, you go, okay, but obviously there's something that the Sarnia Sting sees that they decided to make that move, right? So
that's right.
We'll see where it comes from for there.
Chartier had obviously fallen out of favor this year, losing the backup job to Evan Mallett.
Right. Caden Johnston. I know this was, I think, probably the first one that you saw, and I think maybe that's the one I tweeted you in, and you're kind of like,
It's tough to see him go, but also had fallen out of favor.
Yeah.
He had been. They never say what it is when players aren't in the lineup, but it was obvious that he had been a healthy scratch a lot. I don't think he was injured. I think with his last 13 games, I don't think he had a point at all. 13 games.
Right.
So
I mean, we talked about him extensively when he first got here because we
fire.
were like, wow, here we go. And it was like 3 goals, I think, in the first weekend or something like that. And we're like, whoo.
It's like a little kid with a new toy. Like, look at that.
Well, and he also was one to say that he was grateful for the
opportunity.
The minutes played that he was getting, that he wasn't necessarily getting in London before he came here. That was very clear, if you recall, in a post-game press conference.
Maybe a shot.
But maybe, definitely, that's the way I saw it. But, short-lived, and, that just goes to show anything can happen. The pendulum can swing quickly in the OHL.
That's right. I don't even know how many games it was. It may have been under 40, obviously, but he was here and then he was gone. But it was nice to have him, and it kind of sucks to have to swap it's basically swapping a 10th for a 4th, so we've lost our 4th and we've gained a 10th, but
yeah,
it was nice to see him here, and I hope he does well with his new team.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, now moving on to, I'm going to say this wrong, Jonathan Capagaridis,
maybe?
Capagaridis, like arthritis?
I think that.
He was acquired from North Bay Battalion, and then now we've seen an exchange for round picks in the next. I don't know. I haven't really seen a lot of him yet.
No, he was in the preseason, I believe, or at least the tryouts, and he was looking good. And again, I guess just something that they see that they can move on from. But we gained a lot of picks from that. I think the cupboard might be a little bare right now, and it's nice to recoup some of those. But yeah, it sucks when you don't get an opportunity to see the player play.
Yeah. Well, and if you look at the picks that we got to the picks that we gave away, I feel like we're still sort of in the same position. Like there's definitely a strategy that happened there.
Yeah, for sure. You're just kind of jumping around, but we gained I think because we swapped seconds and then gained 2. So maybe that's it's. And I think picks in the OHL are a lot different than the NHL. It goes as deep as the 10th round because there's so many late bloomers and so many players that don't develop right away. They're just so small and raw with their talent.
Yeah.
But you can find so many diamonds in the rough in later rounds. So
and we don't know the conversation. It was kind of funny again at the post game last week with Dylan Sika and I forget who. I don't know. I think it was Barry Wright asked it. So the deadline's and he sort of went, "Really? Is that Friday?" Like duh, like I didn't know. But he was. That's Dylan's humor. I really appreciate him a lot. He's like, "Yeah, well, we'll have to see." So obviously, I mean, from that point, I think we all kind of knew there was more coming. Obviously, and it was at that point too. They were saying, the next couple of days we'll announce a new assistant coach in there as well. So I wasn't really surprised when I saw these trades come out. I was kind of surprised by the Caden Johnson thing, but the other thing is it's not just about the goals and the performance. There's personality that is in this as well, and who knows if the personalities clash, etc. And I'm not saying that was any of the reasons, but.
It's always a possibility.
Yeah, when any of this stuff comes. Well, he said in there too, when this team, it's nice to see from the adversity that they're rallying around each other. They're supporting each other more than we saw maybe even 5-6 weeks ago, coming out of that road trip that was really, we just don't even want to talk about that anymore, right? And I'm sure they want to forget about it too. But, okay, well, one thing I want to mention out there is Wave Energy Drink, also a supporter here. And if you want all natural ingredients and only 37 milligrams of caffeine to keep your energy going naturally, there's a website in the link on Facebook and YouTube that you can click on to find out more about Wave Energy Drink. Okay, Matthew Manza, acquired from Kingston Frontenacs in exchange for the 10th round pick in 2027.
I like it. I like it a lot. He was the OJHL's Rookie of the Year last year, and he had 49 points in 49 games, I believe, point per game player. And he suited up for the BCHL this year, kind of like Liam Beamish, so maybe a bit of a similarity there, but I think the paperwork's getting finalized. He's not playing tonight, but it'll be nice to see him come in. It's always like 49 points in 49 games. It's unbelievable. Rookie of the Year, there's a reason why people win those things.
Well, you hope so, right, Connor? That being said, we've talked about a couple of players that are now gone that we thought were going to perform well. Even Diorio is another one, second overall draft pick, and his performance, at least goal-scoring wise, has been, right?
He's still a rookie, though, right? Just a kid.
But there are other factors that he brings to the team as well, right? So everybody wants to see somebody score goals, but we got to keep in mind the other factors that these players bring, so it comes all together. So this match, I'm interested to see what happens there. The numbers look really good and strong, but only time will tell once he's on the ice.
For sure. You want to have you don't want to have the highest expectations, but I think it's just like they see something in this kid. Obviously, I don't think they would have traded for him otherwise, because it was kind of an out of the blue trade where it's another BCHL player. I think they have a good scout there, and like you said about Diorio, it's so easy to look at the stat sheet and say a goal and an assist. Oh, he did great tonight. But it's a lot harder on the eye test to look at a defensive forward and see how much he contributes to the team. Where you're comparing him to the other rookies that have been drafted, like Ethan Belchez went first overall, and he's unbelievable on the stat sheet. He's got a lot of points, but I'm not sure how well he is as a two-way forward. And it's like I said, it's hard to tell if you're really not watching, but Diorio is a wonderful two-way center, and that's 100%. Super undervalued, but it is extremely valued in the NHL.
Well, the staff, the coaching staff, obviously sees something there, like you said. But I think, like you said, I don't know about the highest expectation. I think there is the highest expectation based on age, performance, all those things. There is an expectation there, obviously, and they feel enough to bring them on board to do that. The 50-50, Connor, is already over $1,500.
Nice, very nice.
I was in the washroom earlier. They had, not that anybody needed to know that, but there was a sign
Hope
there.
You wash your hands.
It said, always, twice. The average 50-50 take-home of the year is over $7,700. That's the average.
That's unbelievable.
Like, that's insane, right? So get your 50-50 tickets. You can do that by going online to sting5050.com. And thanks to our friends at Sting Assist, who volunteer their time very committedly to selling the tickets and make sure the money gets back out into the community. All right, we're going to go back over here. I'm going to scroll back. Boy, we've got lots of people following us here. Formula, Navy Cadet, OTT Bentley. Wow. Scott, we got tons of followers. Hello, OTT Bentley. I'm thinking that's Ottawa Bentley. Knights on top. Yeah, okay.
Oh, boy.
I had worked in the...
You don't have to read those.
If you want to get on Connor's good side, you don't want to be talking about London. I had worked in the attack food booths for a couple of seasons, and I am just cheering on the attack. You know what? That's cool. We'll allow it once. User says we're cool. Thanks, Aaron, for sharing the live T-shirt. Yeah, please share the live out there. We've been getting on average anywhere from 80 to 100 new followers every time we do this. So I'm afraid to go live during the week about anything else. I mean, what are you talking about? Positive, motivational stuff. Where's the hockey stuff?
Where's the sting?
Yeah, right. So
I know we didn't have it in our little docket there either, but we kept all of our overagers, which is kind of cool to see. Sometimes they get shipped off for a hefty package, but it's nice that all of these players started in Sarnia and they're going to end their journey here. They all if you read their their statements, they were pretty copy and paste. They all sounded very similar to each other, but it's very nice to see them all stay.
Something I do want to talk about that you mentioned, and shout out to my friend Catherine, who is somewhere up in one of these suites tonight. I got to find time to go say hi to Catherine and her nephew, Landon Hookey, who's
Sarnia native.
Yes, he is. And I've known Catherine a long time. We went to public school together. Yes, I'm old.
Oh, jeez.
She's still
Sat
young.
behind Jesus.
Yeah, pretty much, right? But her nephew is Landon Hookey, and she's a big proud aunt for that. So I know she's here in this week. But talk about Landon Hookey. He was just named something for the Owen Sound
Just
Attack.
named the captain of the Owen Sound Attack today because they shipped off their captain a couple days ago. They had to have a new one. And congratulations to him. That's unbelievable. He's having a great season. He's almost a point-per-game player. Of course, it was a good choice.
Yeah, and obviously some leadership skills in there as well. I mean, that's scoring goals is one thing again, but having the leadership skills on any team is really a key factor to success.
For sure, especially being such a young kid, just to have that leadership role, it's tough to bring when you're at that age, and some people just stand out. Wasn't me, but
yeah, right. We've heard about you in your hockey.
It's great to see. Yeah.
That's a whole other show. I still gonna have you on the show, by the way, the weekly show. We got to do that. Maybe we'll save that for then. I didn't even set up the. Let's talk about our lines. Have you got that handy?
Yes, right here.
Who's doing that tonight?
I've got the numbers. We got Beamish, Felak, and Brown on the first line.
Okay.
Diorio, Lukey, and I'm not sure who that is. Anyway, Karimov's on the third line. Bummer.
Oh, you had to bring that up.
Bummer. Beckham's down there too, though, which doesn't mean that that's not a good line.
No.
It's just, I think we have an embarrassment of riches. You got to spread the wealth out. And then Moses is on the right side there. Wainwright, sorry, is in the middle on the second line. And then Chamberlain and Hall. Nice to see Chamberlain back. I think this might be his first game back, actually.
Right. Yeah, we haven't heard of him in a while.
Fisher and Young are on the first D pair. O'Brien, Hurt are on the second D pair. Bridgewater and Bodine. Nice to see him back as well.
Yeah, I like Bridgewater. And Bodine, too, right? Yeah.
Nice to see him back. He missed a couple games. And Barr's the extra defenseman, and Serzica is the starter tonight.
Yeah, of course, a good choice. And that was something else that Mark asked at the post game. It was like, is Nick on in for every game? Is he going to get a day off? And they're like, well, he gets his days off in between games, and he's got his nose in the book. He's going to be an engineer, right? So,
unbelievable.
Big commitment from all of the players. But Nick Serzica, an outstanding goalie for this team as well. Definitely going to be hard to come by for another one of similarity to Nick at some point. All right, they're getting ready to bring everybody out on the ice, so we're going to wrap things up here. We're going to stay live out here on TikTok, but we'll end things out here Facebook and YouTube. But Connor will be back for a first period update, as long as he doesn't miss the goal on the way up. That's usually what happens.
Oh, boy.
We'll take that.
Knock on wood. I haven't missed one in a couple games.
There you go. All right, Sarnia staying, hosting the Owen Sound Attack. Hopefully we got some good positive things to talk about when we see you next time. But until then, I'm David Burrows and my good friend Connor Burke. 1, 2, 3, go Sting, go!